All right, we have a sick pod collab tonight, the Talking Titans and the Anvil Show. I am joined by my man Big P and Costa. Let's waste no more time. We got a lot to talk about. Sammy, start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. It's gonna be sick.
All right, well, welcome to another show, another collab, a sick pod collab. I'm joined by my man Big P and Costa, a couple Colts fans, couple division rivals. How we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing good. How yourself?
I'm doing all right. I'm flying solo. My two counterparts left me to duke it out with you two. So I'm excited to get into the matchup because it's an interesting one for both of us. Very, very important for you guys if you guys want to stay relevant in that race. And for us, it's kind of do or die, although I think we're probably on the outside looking in. But for you guys, a matchup that can mean a lot. There's a big difference between being 7-5 and 6-6. So, how do you guys feel about, your season so far this year? I mean, I wasn't on the show when you guys were on it before with Sal and Jarrett, so I never really talked to you about, our rivalry and how you guys are doing the last few years, how we're doing the last few years. So how do you guys feel about this week's matchup and your season in general? Because it's been a bit of a wild one for you guys.
It's been an injury-riddled season. It's been a suspended-riddled season. We lost he was going to be a starting corner to a gambling violation.
Yeah.
We lost one of our biggest run stoppers to a PED suspension. We lose our bright new shiny quarterback. Go through the troubles with JT and his extension, and now he's out another 2 to 3 weeks because of a thumb surgery. I mean, it's just like when the shit gets rolling, it ain't gonna stop because it's freaking pommeling us right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're no stranger to injuries and whatnot. The last 2 years, the Titans have been one of the most injury-riddled teams in the history of the league. So, I have.
Yeah, what was it like 3 years ago when you guys literally had a different team on the field every single week because of injury?
I think we had 110 different active players at a certain point for Sundays. Like that's how many people. Yeah, it was insane. And it was 2 years in a row. It is what it is. It's part of the game. But at a certain point, it almost felt like this can't be a coincidence. There's got to be a deeper issue here. So I have a little bit of sympathy for you, with what you're going through, but not much because you are a division rival. So a couple questions I had for you guys because you talked about that shiny new quarterback, and how shiny do you think he can be? Are you worried at all about him staying healthy considering his style of play? And how do you feel about, Gardner Minshew? Do you think if they get into the playoffs that he deserves a shot, even though they just drafted someone, last year?
You want this first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as far as AR goes, I think his style of play, he can be physical. He needs to be physical, but I think he also has to be smart most of the time. He needs to choose when to get down. That's been his biggest issue. It was kind of funny. I think it was our second home game. He actually learned how to slide for the first time, and everybody lost their shit. So, because they were worried about eventually happened. But I just think if he starts playing smart, gets some more reps in, I think he'll adapt very well. As far as Gardner goes, he's mostly doing what he said he's doing. Telling AR, he's going to hold stuff down while he's gone because this is his team. You can't help but to respect the guy for his sportsmanship and leadership, while AR is out. The only problem I've had with him is he scrambles too much and he doesn't make quick enough decisions and he loses the ball quite a bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's doing a damn good job. We're above 500, going into a division game. So, can't really complain too much with what we got going on.
Yeah, no, I'm no stranger to Gardner Minshew either. He was with the Jaguars for a few years. He was in Philly last year, and I live in South Jersey, literally 15 minutes outside of Philly. So Saw a little bit of him last year as well when he was their backup. He's a premier backup. He could be probably a fringe starter, Ryan Fitzpatrick type for a very long time in his career, but I think that's what his ceiling is a really good backup who could come in and win you some games. And I give him credit for that because there's something to be said for that, but I don't know if exactly he's a franchise guy. Yeah, I mean, I like Anthony.
He could be, can I let me interject here? He can be a franchise backup, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
With what he's done so far this year for us, I think he deserves, a good sized extension.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's all about what he wants to do. Because if he can get, if he can get an opportunity to maybe start, he might take less money and less years to do that. But yeah, I agree. If you can keep him for your backup, I don't know what that contract would look like. A 3-year, $10 million deal, fully guaranteed, $15 million, for a top-notch backup. But then you'd also be paying a long-term not to play, really. So, but
you're paying for that safety net. You're not necessarily paying him not to play, but you're paying to have that safety net there. Yeah. Especially, and to go back to answer your original question, when you got a running quarterback and you got a coach that likes to design plays for that running quarterback, because in my opinion, that's when every running quarterback gets hurt, is on the designed run plays for them.
Yeah.
Typically, they don't get hurt when they're scrambling out of the pocket just to, extend that play a little bit, give their receiver a little bit more time to get opened up, and then, drop the ball on them. It's those designed run plays. I don't see Coach Steichen changing his philosophy just because Anthony got hurt. I see him changing his play calling a little bit, maybe keeping a shadow tight end around him when he does break away, to take the grunt of any hits. But I don't see him backing off of his designed run calls.
No, I mean, you're not going to take away from what makes him. You're going to play to his strengths, but that style play has to concern you. I don't care how good any quarterback is. It just always seems as time goes on, it starts to wear on you. I mean, Lamar has stayed healthy this year, but the previous 2 years he missed time. Cam's no longer in the league. So, I mean, listen, you live by it and you die by it when that's your style. It's fun.
Absolutely.
It's fun and it's exciting when it works, but then you also have to, it comes with the territory of season-ending injuries. And not that Mariota was that kind of quarterback as well, not as maybe big as Anthony Richardson, but same style. And he just couldn't stay healthy. It was injury after injury, and you feel like you ruin a quarterback. So, an injury in your first year is nothing you want to see for your young quarterback. But and actually it was against us, wasn't it?
It was.
That was unfortunate. He was playing well, and I don't wish injury on anybody as much as I might, despise everyone else in the AFC South. Hopefully he'll be all right, and we'll have matchups year to come with your boy and our shiny new toy, Mr. Will Levis, who I think a lot of Titans fans were on the 50-50. Some people liked him, some people didn't. Sal loved him. Jared and I really weren't huge fans of him, but he has come in and he has looked more than competent. He has showed that he can be calm, cool, collected, make decisions at the line. Has a hell of an arm, can make any throw on the field. You guys think that the Titans found their guy, just like you think the Colts found their guy. Do you think Will Levis could be a problem in that division along with Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud?
My opinion on Levis hasn't changed. He's got the talent. He's got the arm strength. It appears, and I haven't watched too much of film this year of him, but going through draft film, he's got the smarts.
Yeah.
But does he have the right coaching around him?
Yeah.
See, and that's what I'm definitely going to hang my hat on AR, is that Ballard has put the right coaching staff around this young man to, really excel him in his development. Now, if Levis can get that same kind of attention on him, yeah, he can be a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to be a problem if he is not mismanaged, if they do the right thing by him, surround him with protection, weapons, and a competent, offensive play caller. we know, it has happened to you guys, not to make jokes, but with Andrew Luck, how you could really ruin a quarterback by
Yep.
not protecting him, by not, investing in around him. And, I just hope that that's not the case with Will Levis. We haven't had a franchise quarterback literally, all may rest in peace, Steve McNair. I mean, it's sad to say we've gone through a laundry list of 15 to 20 quarterbacks over the last 20 years that haven't been it. With Tannehill kind of being, a middle tier guy, was never really, anything who was going to give you nightmares at night.
He was Tannehill to me was the hope quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
he always seemed to give the Titans fans hope,
sure,
but then he'd always crush it.
Sure. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, nobody expected him when he came in for Mariota to, take us to the title game that year. Granted, it was on the shoulders of, Derrick Henry. But, you got to give credit where credit's due. For a couple of years, he put out outstanding numbers. We were rolling that offense. Art Smith had us really going.
Yeah, you guys led the league.
Yeah,
at one point.
Yeah, over 30 points a game. And, he was always, to me, a guy who was, when you surround him with competent protection, play calling, and weapons, he can be a top 10 to 12 guy at his best. At his worst, he could be a bottom 20 guy. You know what I mean? A bottom, 10 guy in the league. He was that fringe Kirk Cousins, where at times he looks good, times he looks bad. But you were always a little bit more worried about him losing a game for you than you are winning it for you. But hopefully, Levis looks like he could be the real deal. This kid has done nothing but, won my approval for the last 5 weeks, especially with inadequate protection, inadequate talent around them, inadequate play calling, it seems. So, yeah, good call with, having this around him with the proper coaching, proper play calling, because right now, we're at a standstill with our coach. I know our fan base is split with Vrabel and his decisions he's made. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them in the future with Levis, but I like him. How do you guys see yourselves really attacking us on Sunday? How do you see what do you think your game plan will be to take us down and sweep us for the season?
Really, it's kind of I hate to say it, it's been our Achilles heel for a while because of the play calling, but it's really going to come down to defense for us. Our defense is going to have to quit playing individualized football, even though a lot of our individual players, Zaire Franklin, DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, is really having good years. They combined over the last 3 games for 16 sacks, and a couple turnovers and stuff like that. But it's really going to come down to this play calling. I know Will Levis will eat us up in the middle of the field, and that's going to be a problem for us because we run this stupid soft coverage cover 3, and it's just been eating us up this whole time, and that middle of that field's still wide open. But it's going to come down to maybe some good pass rushing from our defensive front, which has been also hurt due to Grover Stewart being out, with his suspension and everything. But also, obviously, keep Derrick Henry in check. You can't go without, looking out for him. So, but then, offense, we're going to keep doing what we're doing on offense and stay consistent with the play calling, no razzle dazzle. I don't think, I know we did it. We had one play. It was a fake punt with Zaire Franklin as a fullback last week. But, yeah, it's just going to be consistent play calling across the board, more aggressive defensive play calling. That's my opinion on how we're going to win this game.
Yeah, that soft zone they run, you guys can eat us up in the middle. Move the chains and then give it to Henry to pound it in. That's what's scaring the shit out of me of this game. But I remember the game last year, and all our focus went to Henry. And who was his backup running back yet last year?
Last year, I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, whoever it was, since all our attention was on Henry, he's the backup was the one that was getting the ball.
Maybe it was here we had Dante Foreman. We didn't have him last year, but the year before that we did.
Yeah, but and then he got like 100 and something damn yards on us because all our attention was on Henry, and I can see that kind of game plan coming in effect too because we're so effective this year stopping Henry. I think here at home. He had 42 yards or something, and to stop that beast, like that's pretty impressive. So I can see Vrabel, trying to play some chess when other people are playing checkers.
I mean, that you're giving him more credit than a lot of Titans fans would right now with Vrabel. But yeah, I mean,
it's just because Titans fans are upset.
Upset about what? Upset
losing,
about what?
Losing.
We haven't done much losing the last 5 or 6 years. These
it
last
doesn't matter.
years.
This game is a prove it now game. It doesn't matter what you've done last year. It doesn't matter what you did 5 years ago. It matters what you're doing right now.
No, I agree.
And right now you're losing, and everybody's in their feels. Oh, we got to change this. We got to do this. Oh, we got to fix it now. Fix it now. Every fan base does it though. We do it. Because it's the losing. That's the only thing that sticks in a fan's head. Are you winning or are you losing? Because look, our conversations are going to be different when we win versus when we lose.
Sure. Absolutely.
When we lose, we're not so, or when we win, we're not so critical of all the stupid shit that we did see, and we don't even talk about it because we won. So when you win, you ride that high and you stay on the positive. But when you lose, you're drugged down into the negative side of things. And just unfortunately, right now, you guys have that negative downslide on everything, and you're not believing in anything. Honestly, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago when Vrabel won Coach of the Year?
Yeah, we were the 1 seed we went that whole year without Derrick Henry, missed like 8 or 9 games. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a tough situation because we're awfully thankful for Vrabel, and he was a part of the turnaround for sure. The last 5 or 6 years, we've won 2 division titles, went to the playoffs 3 times, went to a title game. Our issue with Vrabel is that it seems like the last 2 years, really, the losses have been piling up, and you're right, it does eat at you after a while. But it's been his inability really to take responsibility a lot of the times. It's been frustrating fans. His decision-making, keeping Todd Downing around for 2 years was awful. We went from Arthur Smith and an ultimate high to Todd Downing and an ultimate low, and Vrabel kept him around for an extra year. He likes to keep his coaching staff real, people that he knows, people that he played with, people that he's worked with in the past, instead of maybe someone who's best for your franchise, best for your team, best for your young quarterback. So our frustration is more with him and his attitude lately. I know it frustrated a lot of Titans fans how happy he was when the Patriots retired his jersey, and then he comes to practice next week like a fucking pissy teenage girl. So, it's that's where our frustration is. Obviously, we're thankful for him. I don't think really, now that I've thought on it for weeks on end, I don't think they're going to get rid of him. It wouldn't surprise me. I think his last 20 games, he's like 4-16. So I think if he's going to stay, there's going to be big changes. But I mean, listen, he can definitely coach football. If we let him go, he'd be unemployed for 5 minutes. He would get a job overnight, it seems.
Yeah, Carolina would pick him up like that.
Yes, as somebody. Well, listen, he can even go back to college if he wanted. A top tier, college program as a coach who's known as a motivator. I could see him being. He was at Ohio State as a coordinator before he went to the NFL, and he's an Ohio State grad. So if Ryan Day ever wanted to leave, they might throw the bank at Mike Vrabel. Who knows? But that's neither here nor there. We'll see what happens. I think our plan to attack you guys will be hopefully protect Will Levis, make sure he has time to throw, because when he does, he's shown that he could put the ball anywhere. But we go as Derrick Henry goes. I've always said it. Even this year where it seems to be a down year, I still think he's top 5 in the rushing right now, behind easily the worst line in football. Maybe Carolina's worse, but we're up there. So we go as he goes. Your guys' offense, it's frustrating sometimes because you really don't think there's many, great household names on there, but you see him to put up points every week. I'm a big fan. I have Josh Downs, I'll admit it, on a couple fantasy teams. He was a big pickup earlier in the year. I'm a big fan of Michael Pittman. Jonathan Taylor, shout out South Jersey. He's a South Jersey native. I don't know where he's from, but he's a Jersey guy. So you guys, have some formidable talent. Do you think after this year you guys will look to extend someone like Pittman? I know he's going to be a free agent. And did you like the Jonathan Taylor extension, and what were your feelings about him and the whole holdout? Were you done with him and ready to move on, or were you surprised when they finally extended him?
Well, so
this is going to be long-winded answers here.
So at first, yes, because from the outside looking in,
because it seemed like your goofy owner was like, yeah, we don't need him, this, that, and the third. And then a few weeks later, he's 18, what is it, 15, 16 million a year?
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to get. That's what I'm going to kind of touch on. So at first, yeah, from the outside looking in, speculating and all this other shit. He just didn't seem like he wanted to be here. It seemed like he was holding out on different things. But Zaire Franklin actually started a podcast not too long ago called the Trenches Show. And he was the first guest that they had on it. And they got into his conversation got into conversation with his contract talks a little bit. And he actually went in depth as himself, not as just a professional player, but as himself, and he's just like, the reason why I wasn't always around is because, for one, he's like, I was rehabbing. He's like, I wanted to get back on the field. I wanted to, get back stronger than I possibly, or stronger than I could be, with that weak ankle of his. So he's like, and everyone thinks that these NFL facilities have all these amenities as far as all these rehab centers and all that within their facility, but they don't. So he's got to go to outside resources. He's like, that's why I wasn't there most of the time. And, the whole thing of me not smiling on the field, he's like, that was just my face. I wasn't mad. I wasn't frustrated. I don't got to smile all the time. I don't got to put on this persona for people. So a lot of people were just speculating and, getting clickbait and all this other stuff. So after listening to him talk, he obviously went into more in depth of it, but after listening to him talk, I mean, it was a good thing. He really did want to be here. Jim Irsay really wanted him here. The whole thing that Jim Irsay initially, how this whole thing really started with his tweet, wasn't pointed at Jonathan Taylor. He was doing it toward the league mostly. But I love that we got to extend him. I love he got to stay home in Indy. Every cent he has earned for us. And then as far as like Pittman goes, after this year, he's really showed that he's a wide receiver one for us. We just need to get him some assistance in there, maybe in the draft next year. Or pick up a good free agent, maybe. But yes, so I think we're going to extend him. Yeah, I mean, with all that being said, it's just I'm happy overall.
I'll agree with everything you just said, but I'm going to stick to my guns. And I said it on our program one day, because when he asked to be traded, I instantly went to the feel goods and fine. If you don't want to be here, go.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't, but honestly, if you don't want to be here, I really don't want you here, because you're going to become a cancer.
Yeah.
But that same episode that Costa was just talking about, he flat out said, hey, I told my wife, I told my agent, I will be an Indy. I ain't going nowhere else. Now you got to take a man for his word until he's proven otherwise. So that made me feel better. I was glad that they got a deal done. I am, extremely happy that he's back on the field. Michael Pittman absolutely is going to get a contract.
What kind of number do you think he'll get? I think he'll get like 20.
Oh,
probably like 4 for 80, maybe something like that, with like 50 something guaranteed.
I can see 15 to 18 a year with a lot of incentives.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just my perspective.
But number one, really, you got to pay him if he's a true one. There's one getting close to 30. You got to pay him. I mean, if he wanted to test the market, he might get some team desperate enough to pay him $20 million a year.
He could because he is a flat dog, and he's a flat dog out there, and everybody sees it. Everybody sees his passion for the game, and if it's him and a double set receiver, he's coming down with the ball. He's going to fight you to the nail, in the air all the way down to the ground. I don't think Ballard will penalize him, because he's had a different quarterback every year of his career here.
No, absolutely.
But will he pay him top dollar, top market? I'm going to say no, because Yeah, he just hasn't had the numbers that require top dollar.
Yeah.
But he could if he had consistent quarterback.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation too because you just paid your running back, and I think you would, if you asked a lot of Titans fans, would you have rather traded Henry and just paid AJ Brown all the money he wanted? Would you have done it? Sure. So if you're going to pay that running back, you got to pay the receiver too. You know, in my opinion.
Now, just realize we just cut Shaquille Leonard.
I was going to ask about that,
and that puts $50 million back into our cap.
Yeah.
So is there something there? I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of him, though, were you surprised to see that move? I don't really follow the Colts realm at all. I don't beef with your fans on Twitter. It's not my cup of tea. But what was behind all that? Was he not playing well? I know there was injury issues the last few years. Ever since he changed his name, he kind of sucks now. I don't know what his deal is, but was that something that you guys saw coming as a fan base? Because it was
did not see it coming in the middle of the year like it did. Maybe at the end of the year, at the end of the season, because everybody's seen his production going downhill. Everybody's like you said, Shaquille Leonard is not the maniac. Darius Leonard is the maniac.
I was going to say he's been Shaquille for a few years, and I forgot what his real name was.
Yeah. And if the fans can see it, you better believe the front office can see it.
Sure.
Because they look a lot harder at tape than we ever will.
Because he was what? He's in the second or third year of what? A 5-6 year, $100 million deal, some shit like that?
Second year.
Yeah, second year.
Wow.
But like that back surgery just really messed his mobility up. Because, I mean, he's not that quick. If you could see him even in person, like at practices, at training camp when he was getting limited snaps there, on the field at Lucas Oil Stadium, dude, he was coming off slow. It almost looked sluggish in a way. I know we said a little up higher than most fans do on the field, but it looked sluggish to me. Like he didn't have that quick step anymore. He wasn't always in pursuit to the ball like he used to, like we see Zaire Franklin doing now. He wasn't involved. He wasn't making no big plays. It seemed like he wasn't trying to attempt like that famous peanut punch of his. And I mean, he just wasn't. He just simply wasn't himself anymore. In a couple previous episodes, Clyde, really went out on a limb and really like pulled a Sal, really, really, got all up in his feelings about it, because he's like, oh, you don't cut it all pro and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, my opinion was, and I'll keep saying it till I die. They limited his snaps, yes, for one, to protect himself. It's a back surgery. No back surgery, major or minor. It's back surgery. It doesn't matter. Like it's a serious thing when it comes to your back. And they didn't want to see him hurt. They wanted him to come back, in a limited role. And he expressed his frustrations about it. But I'm like, look, if you're going to get limited snaps, why not go out there and play your heart out in those limited snaps to show these people that you say healthy, right? He didn't do that. He did not do that. And he's definitely not the maniac of old.
Yeah, he was a problem for a few years. I mean, he was all over the field. Probably better off, though, maybe going with a team that has a really good defense where he doesn't have to, run all over the field. You know what I mean? He can just have one or two, tasks on the field. You see Dallas looked at him, Philly looked at him. I think he's going to end up in Philly. But, yeah, I was surprised by it. I know there was injury issues, and I don't know how he was playing this year really, but when I saw on Twitter that they released him, I was a bit surprised because I know they just paid him too. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. But we'll see if his presence is really felt because you never really know someone's presence. I like to say until they're gone. We learned it with AJ Brown. We thought maybe Treylon Burks would come in and make us forget about him a little bit. He has not at all, and we missed the presence of AJ Brown for sure. So. We'll see what happens with you guys and Shaquille Leonard, Darius Leonard, whatever you want to call him, not being out there anymore for you guys. So, with that being said, though, before we finish, let's get some predictions in here because I'm sure we'll have you guys will have one a little more different than mine. So,
27-17 Colts.
I'm gonna say 24-14 Colts.
Okay, well, I am going to respectfully disagree, and I'm going to say we are going to win 24-21 on a last-second Nick Folk field goal. We will see, though. You guys are a big game for both of us, really. I mean, if we want to have any hope at still being relevant for that last wild card spot, we need to win, and you guys need to win to keep pace with it because you are, what, 6-5 right now?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, big difference between 7-5 and 6-6. We'll see though. Should be a tough game. It usually is with us. The last few years we've seemed to dominate you, but you got us on the first one this year. We're undefeated at home, so maybe it will be a different outcome. We know DeAndre Hopkins ate you up last time, and Ryan Tannehill was his quarterback. So let's see what young Wilhelm Levis can do for us. But great collab tonight. Let's give one more shout out to our sponsors over at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use DraftKings code 6sports to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL bet. We want to bet responsibly as well. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bet with your head. Don't bet over it. It was a great show tonight, guys.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, no,
talking some football with us, man.
Yeah, no, it was nice to meet you guys. I was in Key West last time. I remember they threw my picture up. I had the cigar with the turkey man, just pure sexiness dripping all over the place. You know.
Now the Anvil crew's going to be at the game.
Okay. That's right. I wanted to tell your buddy Andrew that he is the smartest one in your family. I heard that he is the only Titans fan, and wear the two-tone blue loud and proud. Don't let these Colts fans, tell you what to do. You get all up in their faces if they get all up in yours, buddy, and enjoy the game. And now that I know Andrew's going, now I know it's definitely going to be a Titans win, and he's going to be talking smack all the way home.
Oh, shit.
Oh, here we go.
They're going to be a rough ride.
Yeah, for one, somebody's going to be.
Costa, do you know where we're tailgating?
Off the top of my head, no. Hang on.
Yeah, well, while he's looking it up, yeah, but at our home tailgates, we have an actual anvil out there that everybody hits and
nice.
Has a lot of fun. We bounce shots off of them. We're actually going to bring the anvil with us.
You want to start some shit? Stir the pot.
Yeah. I haven't been in a good scrap in a while, so
there you go. Hey, I always say sometimes I probably could use a good ass beating.
Exactly. It humbles your ass, don't it?
Exactly. It's no character, I like to say.
So where we're gonna be tailgating at, guys, is the street is South 2nd Street. It's the old PSC Metals Yard. Parking's $40, so we're going to be maybe a third of a mile from the stadium, it looks like. I posted it on Facebook and everything, so if anybody wants to double check with that.
Yeah, if you guys are down there, come swing by.
Yeah, absolutely. I live up in sunny New Jersey. I've been to Nashville twice. I was there earlier this year to see them win at home week 2. It was for my bachelor party. I've been there a few times. Can't not have fun in Nashville. Go up and down Broadway, enjoy those bars. It's a great time. But with that being said, thanks to your buddy Andrew for being such a fan of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. We're gonna have to ask him who his favorite is, if it's me, Jared, or Sal. I'm gonna have to find that one out. We're all a little different, unique in our own ways, but enjoy the game, Andrew. Enjoy that Titans win. And like I said, don't take any smack from these Colts fans. They think they're tough, but they're not. Don't let them come in here and don't let them come in here and think they own the place. So wear that two-tone blue loud and proud and be loud on the way home when they win. So enjoy yourself. Thanks for the collab tonight, guys. I enjoyed it. It was nice to meet you. I'm sure we'll be talking soon. We've built a bit of a rivalry the last few years, and I'm almost happy for you won a game this year because now it's a little bit more of a rivalry. It's not really a rivalry when you haven't won a game in 3 years, but we finally won one. Congratulations. We'll see how it goes on Sunday and who really gets the last laugh. So,
wait a minute. For a parting question, How many games did you guys win against Andrew Luck?
Not many, nor did we win any against Peyton Manning. So that's why I have no sympathy for the bullshit you have dealt with. You ruined Andrew Luck. Phillip Rivers was a joke. Matt Ryan was a joke. Carson Wentz was a joke. And now you drafted a college quarterback who went 6-7 in his senior year, 3rd overall. So, I wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope Jim Irsay sticks to water before he makes any more rash decisions. And
we will see everybody in Nashville this weekend.
Yes. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. And Sammy, send us out. Tighten up.
Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.